what? I don't know if the rumor is true or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. As soon as I saw the Chicago Blackhawks general manager come out and talk about their integrity and they would never let that happen and all the shit they let happen back in 2010 and 2011, I'm like, yep, I pretty much now believe it.
And the statement, it has nothing to do with no team member or their family.
Yeah, they can't be trusted.
No, brutal, but hey, that's crazy.
I still hope it's not true, just for Bedard's sake, because that is not good for anyone's MO. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's
makes for great chat in the morning. I'll
tell
you.
You know, the podcast basically writes itself.
Yeah. With stories like these, I mean, geez.
Exactly.
All right, I will call you, buddy.
All right. We voted there, buddy.
All right. You can start the podcast whenever you want, and we are ready to roll.
We're on, and good morning, and welcome to the Fans Perspective Breakfast Show.
Woo! We got to start doing bacon and eggs for this son of a bitch.
Yeah, I it's probably good for my waistline if I'd have bacon and eggs every morning, I would think.
They say eating right away is actually the best thing for you. Now, they don't say specifically bacon and eggs, but they do say to eat something in the morning, and all I eat is coffee, so I should probably smarten up a bit.
That's what they probably mean, though. I would say they mean bacon and eggs. Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah, I would recommend that bacon and eggs is, speaking of bacon and eggs, I got a text last night from Megan's uncle where we're staying for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I hooked him up with a Traeger deal a couple months back. And so we're going to be doing a bunch of food on Traeger. And, but his thing is he's like an artist when it comes to food. So he's been brining and marinating, and he made 6 different slabs of bacon that he's now slicing and vacuum sealing. And Morgan said, we're trying each one. I said, well, I'll make sure I get the life insurance enforced. But like, it's like 200 pounds of bacon he made. He's only got one daughter. She's 21. And so me and him are just going to crush this bacon all Christmas long. Oh, shit.
What you're trying to say is you're going to be porking all Christmas long is what we're hearing.
It's going to be ugly. Between whiskey and bacon, my poor body's going to take an absolute shit kicking.
Well, you'll be in prime shape for the rec hockey tournament then.
I'll be ready to roll. Yeah, literally roll.
Well, welcome everyone, and we always forget to say this, but please like, subscribe, and share on YouTube for all you YouTube watchers.
Yes, please.
You betcha. And we have an exciting show coming up, not this morning but tonight.
Yes, we do.
We have Jared Parsonage, bull rider, as our guest tonight on the Fans Perspective. So check that out if you want. Should be a great show. We're going to ask him what it's like to get in the back of a 1,500-pound bull.
I want to know what it's like, but I never want to feel it. Not even.
I'll live through his camera like he could put one on. That's good enough for me.
I'm with you, man. I played hockey with the kid. I knew he was fearless, but riding a bull, damn it, Jared, that is on another level, brother. So
and he's had a terrible amount of success, which is awesome. A local guy. He's been to the CFR, the NFR. He's going to the NFR, the PBR. He has done everything you would want to do as a professional bull.
He's been ranked first in Canada. He's won huge events, Calgary Stampede. I'm excited to have him on. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to, and the questions are just going to keep randomly coming throughout the day. And if you want us to ask him a question, send us a text. We'll ask him the question.
It can be stupid. Go ahead. I do stupid things all the time. Whatever you want to hear, throw me a text. I will ask it.
So join us for that tonight. But let's get to the NHL scores from last night, since there was no football. And then we'll talk a little football, too. Toronto 2-1 winners over Florida in overtime shootout.
Oh, did you see the shootout?
No, I did not. I was at hockey practice.
Florida had won it in the shootout.
Yeah.
and they were already storming the ice, and Toronto was off, and the fans were gone.
Yeah.
And then the ref got called to the booth or whatever, and it just tapped the guy's stick twice. He deked the goalie, went around, hit the pad, came back, then hit his stick again, then went in. So they had to call the team back. They went and ran out and got all the fans back, and then went the next shooter for Toronto scored and won it.
Boys, get your jock
Florida
straps
didn't.
back on. We need to keep playing.
Yeah. So, but I didn't notice it up right away. So when they slowed it down, it was like just a millisecond. It was so quick,
Yeah.
but how they caught that, and they can't catch a first down when the Ravens get it by 3 feet. I don't understand. But
It is the Ravens. So
yeah, well, you know what? Keep doubting the Ravens. That's when they do the best.
I'm not doubting them. I'm just stating a fact, buddy.
You dick. All right, keep going with the scores. Keep going with the scores.
Okay, Baltimore Ravens here. No, New Jersey 5, New York Islanders 4 in regulation. Carolina 4, Philadelphia 1, Minnesota 3, St. Louis 1. Winnipeg loses to Dallas 2-0, and Winnipeg's in a bit of a free fall as we speak.
Couple games now they haven't done well.
No, Nashville 3, Pittsburgh 2, Chicago and Connor Bedard 4-3 victors over Seattle. Arizona 3, Tampa Bay 1, and Edmonton Oilers in a shootout victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. And of course, Vancouver beats Anaheim 3-1. So that's Tuesday night.
Okay. Actually, I didn't even I knew all the other games. I didn't know Vancouver played last night. All right.
Yeah, Vancouver's doing very well. I'm wondering when they're gonna have a bit of a hiccup here coming.
You would think there's always seems to be a slump after a while. Teams figure out your stuff and you got to reevaluate. But kudos to those assholes.
For sure. And still talked a little bit about the Oilers. They're starting to come, and hey, they're getting closer to the playoffs. I think by Christmas we're gonna be in the playoff.
I mean, the way that the league works, if you keep winning, you be there by December 10th for sure.
I can't believe how up and down the NHL and the NFL are this year.
Yeah, they both. Well, the NFL isn't quite as much. It's just that the good teams are randomly losing to a shitty team, but the good teams are still, that 9-3, 10-1, 8-3, and the shitty teams are still down to 4-5. Where in the NHL, it is. Man, there's just dog shit, terrible teams with barely any wins. But one thing, like we talked about it yesterday, is goaltending is poor. Like there were 2 goals last night in that Oiler game that shouldn't have went in. The Oilers should have never gone to a shootout. Their goalies are not facing a lot of shots. They've got to get that figured out, because you can't guarantee that you're going to score 5 and 6 goals every night. They've got to figure that out, because it's not right. They got too good a team for the goalies to suck. I hate them. I want them to keep sucking, but it's not right, man. It's just son of a bitch.
They need a goalie and a defenseman in the worst way.
And they'll get it. It'll happen. I'm sure they're looking right now. You know it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you just cannot have a bad goal like Skinner. That I think probably the one you're talking about was right kind of in the slot, and he had a clear look at it, but
he did. He wasn't screened. He had a clear look at it, and I mean, he stops that puck. He's a good goalie. Just right now, he's not stopping that puck for whatever reason. He's got the Markstrom syndrome, where it's like, oh, he'll make a miraculous save, and then some of the guy's backhand from outside the blue just floated through the glove.
And we all know that a bad goal is very deflating.
For a team. It is so deflating for a team. It just gets the guys like, God damn it, what? We can't stop every shot for them, and then it gets in the back of your head. I got to block this. I got to play a little tighter. And
here we go again.
Yeah, so. I mean, if they keep scoring 5 and 6 goals and winning like that, it will eventually find his confidence. But you can't depend on it.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor on your rec team too. The guys.
Oh God! You know what? And last year was a struggle. We didn't really have much for scoring. We won the A final 3-1 and the semifinal 2-1. It was not what I prefer. I like when I can let 9 goals in, because that's generally how it works with me. How was it, man? Fantastic weekend. What was the score in the final? 48-47. We won though. We did win. I'm a winner.
We won with a 2-point convert.
Yeah, exactly. Good Lord, man.
All right. Well, the NHL is kind of a little, well, we talked a little bit about it, but it's kind of a little boring this time of year. I mean, there's no playoff implications yet. Things like that. But let's have a bit of a preview on what's coming in the NFL here. So on Thursday night, Seattle's at Dallas. Finally, a good Thursday night.
That should be a good Thursday nighter. Yep, should be.
I mean, we haven't had one since the Chiefs played Ravens, right?
Yeah.
The Chiefs played the Ravens, or Chiefs played the Bengals?
Chiefs played the Bengals. We haven't played the Chiefs yet.
Yeah, okay. Chiefs Bengals on Thursday night. That was the last time they had a good Thursday nighter, and that was
when Burrow was still there. Yeah.
Yeah, when Burrow when he kind of had his wrist injury there.
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah, but anyways, and then we got Chargers in New England, a nothing game.
Yep.
Detroit really needs to bounce back. They are at New Orleans. Detroit hasn't looked good in a couple weeks.
No, they have. They got lucky and won the one before, but this last week was very poor.
Yeah.
And New Orleans is beatable, but they are better than the Packers, so they're going to have to pull up their socks.
They are. Atlanta, New York Jets, a snoozer.
Oh my God, is that going to be horrendous? Holy shit, that game.
Arizona is at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh should walk that one.
It's actually hilarious. Like, Pittsburgh got lucky this year with such a light schedule. I don't know how that works exactly in the NFL. But like the Eagles and the Ravens had 1 and 3 for hardest schedules in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just such horse shit. And the Steelers have a dog shit team, but they just keep winning. And everyone's like, oh, they're just winners. I'm like, well, they're playing CFL clubs right now. This is bullshit. Like,
tell me this. Why does the NFL not go to an even schedule?
Yeah, I have no idea.
You could play one extra division game. There's 32 teams in, right?
Yep.
So you play your whole side. I mean, one time.
Agreed.
It makes sense.
Yep. I 100% agree. I think it's crazy, man. I think it's weird. That it is what it is. Like, the CFL is going back to the old school scheduling next year, they said.
Okay, that is good news. That is good news.
Yeah, they're going back to it. They said it was just too much travel and all this shit going way east, way west, hard on players, hard on the wallets of the league.
Yeah. What I want to see, though, I don't even care about the schedule as much. And I'll just wrap this up in the schedule. Actually, you can't even say how dominant Baltimore and Philly are over the rest of the league if they have a way tougher schedule, and they're still dominating, actually. It's really not a fair judgment, because if they'd have Philly's probably undefeated now if they had a good schedule like some of the other teams, and Baltimore may very well be as well. Like,
not the Ravens. They lost a couple stinkers on their own mistakes, but yeah, I mean, it's just like you look at the schedules and it's like we play this, and so we're not known as dominating because our games have been close, lots of them. Yeah, that's because we're playing great teams, where other teams are playing Arizona and like the Rams lots and the Saints lots and the Falcons and all that stuff. And it's like, well, shit, man, no wonder. Or the freaking Carolina Panthers, geez, just throw a bowling ball. So
the only time those teams don't lose is when we bet on them in Sports Select.
We gotta stop doing that. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but
anyways, I was gonna say on the playoffs, what I want to see AFC, NFC, or CFL, East, West, whatever. I don't want to see like divisions. I want to see 1 through whatever playoff teams, your top, your bottom. I want to see it organized like that. I don't want to see divisions for, I'll use the NFL. I don't want to see the NFC's, East number 1 team get in just because they're a division winner.
4-7 right now or whatever, and they're first in their division, so they get to slip in. That's bullshit.
Yeah, and there's another team maybe in a different division that is like 8-4, but their division is so powerful that everyone else is 10-2.
Yep. And it happens every year. There's teams that have a much better record. Not every year, but almost every year.
Yeah.
That have a much better record that do not get in because one of the divisions is so shitty. Anybody could get in with 5-6 wins.
So basically, I'm just saying, put the best teams in the playoffs. Forget everything else. Put the best teams in the playoffs.
Yep, I agreed 100% on that one. And
1 through 7, and let's go. But anyways, we'll round out the schedule. Miami's at Washington, another kind of snoozer.
Yeah, Miami should slam them, but
Yeah, one of the
Hope they
games
don't.
of the week, Denver, Houston, big game, big
Oh,
game.
that'll be a big game. The way Denver has been winning and their defense has kind of come along. And Houston needs a bounce back. Houston deserves to win last week and didn't. Missed the field goal, hit the pole, which is kind of crazy to lose off a post.
Yeah,
But so that should be a great game.
that should be a good game. Cleveland is at LA.
Go Rams.
And I am guessing, and I can't believe this is not the Sunday nighter. San Francisco at Philadelphia.
How is that not the primetime game?
I do not know. It's an afternoon.
Now I can't watch it. That's an afternoon game?
Yeah.
Shit. I won't be home.
The primetime game is Kansas City and Green Bay.
Oh my God. Honestly.
Yeah.
Come on,
NFL. Like, Jesus.
Green Bay gets that he gets that New England Patriots treatment where they still think they're the best because they had Favre and they had Rodgers. Well, they don't. They got Jordan Love, who's okay, and the rest of the team is shit. And when they win, it's like, oh, it's a miracle, because it is a miracle because they're not that good. And the Chiefs have not been having a great season. So unless they absolutely just turn on a switch, but their offense is very different now that all they can trust is Pacheco and Kelsey. And Kelsey's had 2 rough games now, 2 in a row.
Yes, I love it.
I know you do. I don't know if he's injured or if it's just age catching up with him, but he's or maybe it's just too much commercial time.
I think it's probably he's at too many concerts with Taylor.
Yeah, see, Taylor Swift effect. I told you at the start of the year, she's no good for nobody. Get rid of her. There's plenty of cute blondes that aren't Taylor Swift. Go get one there, Mr.
Well,
Kelsey.
Bedard's mom, for example.
No, I think she's taken now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, be nice. Corey Perry's a good guy.
Yeah, well, he's got a great consulting career ahead of him anyways. Who needs NHL?
No, if they really want to put that rumor to bed, then do like the NFL does and expose the player. Say exactly what he did and why you got rid of him. The NHL never does. They hide everything. Oh, it was an interior thing. We're not going to bring it out. NFL's like, here's the video of him kicking his wife in the face in the elevator, and then they post it. It's like, okay, well, here we go.
Hey, the NHL is actually, I'll just say the Monday nighter yet is Cincinnati at Jacksonville. But
oh my God, Jacksonville's going to destroy them. Oh my God, it's going to be horrible.
The NHL has a lot of controversy going on. You got the Milan Lucic situation.
Yep.
You got the Corey Perry thing. Lots of crap going on. And I think it all comes down to money, and these guys are overpaid. Lots of them. I mean, there's lots of good guys in the NHL and NFL and any sport. Don't get me wrong.
But there's so many that are overpaid.
Yeah, when they get all this money for what they're doing, and let's be honest, your average fan can no longer afford to go to these games only as a treat. You absolutely like season tickets.
I haven't been in 3 years just because now I got to take the kids with me. And it's $1,200 to $1,500 to go watch the frickin' Flames in the most dilapidated arena in the NHL. Not going to happen.
No. And then you start considering, and I am a huge Oiler guy, of course, and I want to go. But when they're playing mediocre hockey and it costs you that, thumbs down for me.
Exactly. My Flames aren't good, and their stadium sucks. It's a 4.5 hour drive. And that's like $1,400-$1,500 without a hotel because we got uncle and aunt there. And my brothers live there. Like that's absurd, man. Like that's too much. I mean, that doesn't take into consideration if I want to buy the kids a jersey or buy them a shirt or pay for stuff. Like I'm looking at a $2,000 weekend if I want to make it a fun, great experience. Well, shit, I can go to 20 Tigers games for that and only drive an hour and get a great and sit right on the glass and let the kids basically like reach out and see a great hockey game.
And speaking of the Tigers, they travel to Swift Current tonight to face the Broncos in Swift Current.
They always have good games, so that'll be a good one. They hate each other.
Great Wednesday nighter. If you're not doing nothing, looking for something to do, watch the Fans Perspective and go to the Calgary or the Tiger Swift Current Bronco game.
There's no NHL on tonight other than 3 games, so go watch some dub.
Yeah, exactly. That's great entertainment. I think it costs you like $23 to go, and
there is some talent on that Medicine Hat roster this year that you don't want to miss. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. I've seen him the home opener, and I haven't seen him since. But hopefully, I can get to him somewhere here in December sometime.
Yeah. I'd like to. I don't know. I mean, right now I don't know. My head's spinning, but they used to see my basement between all the boxes for Christmas wrap and everything.
You know what? I heard Corey Perry is looking for a job. You should hire him to kind of organize that maybe some things.
Megan's always had a thing for tall blonde guys. I really can't have them hanging around too much. I don't know, dude. Like, so I don't know if I said it yesterday, but I read a meme. It was hilarious. And I mean, like I said, we don't know if this is true, but this is what we get to do. It's our podcast. I think it's true. I think Corey Perry did a little dirty dangle with Bedard's mom. So it is what it is. You can call me out on it, whatever you want, but until they deny that exactly, until they come out and say this is what he didn't do that. Yeah. You guys are a bunch of morons. I don't know how that got started. I'm believing it. And so I saw a comic yesterday, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. It's like Corey Perry takes his son to the rink, and his son gets cut. He's the worst hockey player on the ice, and it's a comic, right? So it's just kind of gives you a dialogue, and then he's going like this, and the son comes off crying and going like this, and then bam, he puts the kid up for adoption. And then he starts thinking, he's like, I've always wanted to have the best hockey player in the world. How do I get this? And then he's on the mom's trip with Connor Bedard and his mom. He's like, ooh. And Connor gets a hat trick on the first game. And he's like, so then the next scene is he's got his arm around Bedard's mom. And then the next scene is he's like, all right, go get him, son. And he's yelling from the bench. And in the back of his jersey said, Bedard Perry. And now he's got the world's best hockey player. He always wanted his son to be the world's best. And well, now he's got him. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, people are ruthless. And this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, but you know what? That comes with the territory of being a celebrity sports superstar, right?
That's why I say they got to come and clear it out and tell the truth. If it's not that, they have to. They can't just, especially coming from the GM of the Blackhawks with all the controversy and all the shit they pulled. They just got sued again for the 2010 stuff.
Yeah, there's another sexual assault thing going.
You bet. Like, there's been so much shit in that locker room, and now you're supposed to be like, well, all we believe is integrity. We would never let that happen. Yada yada. I was like, I don't know about your integrity so much. Like,
yeah, no kidding. And I actually was rooting for Bedard to go somewhere else. I thought the Chicago Blackhawks had no business getting that pick.
Agreed. I wanted Montreal, even though I hate Montreal, or Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim I was rooting for.
Yeah. I would have loved to see him and Zegers play together. I think they would have fed off each other's offense.
Although Perry was a free agent, he was going wherever Bedard's mom went.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he could sign wherever he wanted. Yeah, I love the Patrick Kane to Detroit thing. I love the price that he went for, and I love the fact that in his interview yesterday he said, "I understand. I don't get a spot. I have to earn a spot." He said, "It took me a lot of years to get there mentally to just not believe that I just get what's given." He said, "And I'm ready to go." And he's like, "I want to contribute, and not just as a veteran presence." He said, "I want to contribute on that score sheet." And I'm like, I love it. I wish him well.
Were you surprised though that he didn't go to like more of a contender? Like, I don't class Detroit as a Stanley Cup contender.
He's got two friends on the team, and that's kind of what I love. Two kids he's trained with for like 20 years in the off season. Yeah. And like DeBrincat and him are really good buddies. Yeah. And he just, he said, I'm going to go play where I want to play with like friends and love the game again, basically is what his interview. And I loved it. I was like, this is great. You're probably going to get your best hockey out of a kid who is going somewhere not for the money, but for the love of the game and wants to play with his buds again and have that old hockey feeling back again, like just playing with the boys. So, I mean, he could turn that franchise around. If you get one good piece that can help play a power play and raise up some younger guys. Now you're playing with a guy who's done it all, won it all. I wish him the best. I've always liked Detroit. I've never really hated Detroit. They seem like a blue collar type of hockey team. So yeah, I was excited for him to sign there. I was surprised. I thought he would end up in like a Las Vegas, Minnesota situation, Edmonton, that type of team where
Dallas,
even LA. Yeah. LA would be a big center for him. And I thought he was an LA type of boy, you know what I mean? A showstopper, but I'm loving it. He's going to the hood, man. You're going to Detroit.
Well, at least he's not going to Columbus, man.
Yo, could you imagine that shit show? I heard he wanted to come to the Flames, but he was afraid the roof was going to fall in. So he marked that one right off the list.
Hey, but Danielle is getting one built there in Calgary, so give her a
Hey,
little.
I love Danielle. Danielle Smith, keeper.
I've always said this: Danielle Smith has bigger balls than any other politician out there. Just say
Yep.
it.
You even said it to Clinton the other day. Clinton loves her. I mean, Clinton lives there, and he said,
Yep.
like, man, people on the outside, they're just casting her away as she's just a crazy Looney Tune. But no, she's trying to get rid of the crazy Looney Tunes. She's trying to build some stability and using her absolute genius strength. She comes across like this sweet lady, smiles and whatnot. That lady is going to get shit done. She's a businesswoman, and I'm all for it.
Well, and she's common sense. She knows we cannot meet these targets. It's going to cost Joe Public way too much money.
It's going to bankrupt her entire province. She knows that. Everybody knows it. Just no one has the balls, like you said, to stand up and do something about it. Well, because the politicians are never going to suffer. Don't forget. Correct. So they have to do it for the people. They have to do it and want to do it to save the people, because they'll never, their money's already funded. They've got their pensions. They've got all that. So the politician that does the right thing is not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for us, which is what politics was supposed to do. They were supposed to be a voice for the people.
But they're not.
They're not.
They're all fired up. We're talking carbon tax, and I'm just going to add to that. Since when does a damn tax save the environment? Like, how stupid of an idea.
You know what? If it works, if somehow this does plan to work, I think we should start a Flames tax, because I'd love to start to save that franchise if we could. So you can tax me $10 a week if it's going to save them. Only if it's going to save them, though.
We know it won't work because a tax
stupidest thing ever.
Work. It's a joke. All it is money for the government to piss away again.
Yeah, well, they spend like some of the carbon tax money pays to go to these big G3 or whatever they are carbon meetings. Well, they cost like $1 million to send the whole staff. Of course, you got to tax us to pay that off. That's the dumbest thing ever. Can't you do things through Zoom? Me and Tyson are running a podcast. People around the world could watch it. We're sitting in our own houses.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, it's a joke. And they spend, what was it? I think I told you the other day, the first 6 months, over $50 million on travel. Like, good Lord. It's ridiculous. Politics is out of control. And let's be honest, taxes don't do anything for environment. Like, do whatever policy. You don't even need a policy to do better than the carbon tax.
No, you don't. Taxes were supposed to go to infrastructure, your schooling, making sure the teachers, healthcare in your province, highways. What's the worst things we have right now? Our highways, our healthcare, our school system. Where's all our money going? We're spending a lot of money. Our tax dollars are not going to where they should be going. Where are they going?
Yeah. And another joke that I always find, since we're on the tax subject, is so you got cities all over this country, and every year they need like a 2 or a 3 or a 4% increase on the taxes. Well, maybe we should get back to teaching some proper math about numbers instead of writing a paragraph about math, because balance your damn budget. Everyone else at home is struggling. They have to do with what money they have. So why should the cities or whatever counties be able to increase every year? No, balance your books with what you got and make the cuts where necessary.
I mean, if people didn't see it coming when he literally in his opening speech, when Trudeau got in back in 15 or 16, whenever that happened, he literally said, we're not worrying about the budget. It will balance itself over the next term. I mean, me and Megan reevaluate our budget constantly just for changes. And if we get an increase or decrease, or, like fuel going way up or a new tax added on, which seems to happen every year here. My cigar and whiskey collection getting more expensive because of all those taxes. We re-budget, reevaluate. And he doesn't talk about it. He won't even say what you can't even ask. You can watch the House of Commons arguments. He will not tell how much money he spent, where it's come from. The Conservatives ask and they just slough it off and it'll just balance itself. We're in $3 trillion worth of debt, which is like more than in the previous 100 years of our country. He spent more money in his term than we have in the previous 100 years.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, that's crazy.
You know what gets me so fired up too? Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP, talks about how bad job Trudeau is doing and stuff. Well, buddy, you have the power to let's get an election going. Let's get him out of there. But
That's
refuse
right.
to, because he's got a big fat pension waiting for him if he rides this baby out and gets
All,
Trudeau to the 20.
all he does is talk about it, and he gains viewership from NDPs, and they support him. But talking about something, he's the only one that has the power to do something about it.
Yeah.
It's because of his coalition with Trudeau that we're in this spot. So break that, and it all goes bye-bye. But he just wants to say it so that it keeps the NDP people happy, and he gets more votes, and he's growing the NDP. I mean, look, they're NDP now in Manitoba, and as much as you might like that guy, that's not a good thing. And it's not a good thing. It's not a growth. They're not a growth type of person. They're a survive type of person. They're everyone's equal type of person. They really support that equalization payments. They
Social
really
program.
support that same income for everybody. Yeah. So why is anyone going to want to work hard or work at a hard job that takes a bit of knowledge and whatnot when they can get the same working anywhere, just subsidized by the government?
Or sit at home.
Perhaps. Sit at home, take a paycheck. I mean, it's.
He's more brutal than Trudeau, if that is possible, if you ask me.
And they're together.
He talks a big game and absolutely does nothing, and he has the power to end this tragic government immediately.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and then he talk about a pharmacare program that'll break the country. Unless they're overcharging us by 5 times what the cost of drugs actually are, which is probably true as well.
Yeah. So. Well, and we'll leave the politics with this, but there's so many things that are so stupid. Like in our province, for example, our government charges PST on everything, right? Not many provinces charge PST.
No.
So all that does, and he's like, well, we need to, establish more growth in our own country, our own province. Sorry, we need the money, yada yada. Okay. Well, guess what? Nobody's buying any toys here. All of our toy dealerships are suffering. Vehicle dealerships are suffering because they're going to Alberta. And then, so how Alberta works, and I know this, I sell the registrations. A lot of the dealerships sell you a vehicle. Then what they do is they put the PST on there so that it doesn't get charged here. But then they take that exact amount off their total bill of sale to get the sale. And if you buy a boat in Alberta, you don't have to pay the PST. You never have to pay it here. You buy a quad, side-by-side, Sea-Doo, things like that. You don't got to pay the PST. So do you think guys are buying here when it's $100,000 boat? It's $6,000 cheaper there because they don't have to pay the 6% PST, and they're all doing it. Yeah. I've never done a boat that's been bought in Saskatchewan in years, man. In years. Those dealerships are suffering.
I believe it, and all you need is a fake address, let's call it.
Well, that's if you want to register it there, but even if you want to register it here, you never have to pay PST on a boat, a side-by-side, a quad, because you don't actually register them, you just insure them.
Oh, so yeah, well, let's get a little clear to that.
Yeah, yeah. So the SAS Finance can't find it and can't charge you for it. So
yeah, because they can't search it.
Just exactly. All the dealerships and employees and whatnot, they're laying guys off. They're closing dealerships. That's infrastructure. That's wealth here. Gone. Poof.
Wow. And we have PST on football tickets, sporting events. Everything. What a joke.
The only thing in our office now that I've noticed that doesn't have it on there is your driver's license, but everything else does. You buy a permit, you buy a plate, you buy a renewal, you get a new plate, everything. Farm insurance, this, that, this. That's it. Everything has it except for your driver's license.
I know. I was quite shocked actually when I come up for coffee on Monday morning, and you had a little jar there, and I went to fill my cup, and there was a PST jar. So, geez, that's
and thanks for putting in 10%. I do appreciate the extra. It made the difference that day.
Well, I put in 10% and a little tip. You always said you wanted a tip, so I wrote you a note. So
I'll have to read the note this morning, see what's in there.
Oh, it's a doozy, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. I'll be burning that one.
Well, is today the day? We don't have a lot of time here yet anymore, but is today the day the Riders announce their head coach?
I hope so. And I like to tell you, I don't mind both the guys. They're both football guys, which I'm good with, but I really want it to be Buck Pierce. I I'm scrolling Twitter, checking the riders. I'm like, just announce it. He's in Regina.
Yeah.
Announce it. I want it to be him so bad because I know what he's going to bring with him. The winningest football team in the last 8 years. He's going to bring a bunch of guys and then maybe a new culture, and maybe he can punch O'Day in the face. So let's go Buck Pierce.
I'm hoping for Buck Pierce too, and for all the same reasons you said. Like, it's a change of culture. Plus, he has more experience than Corey Mace. He's been coaching since 2014. So
yeah. And I mean, let's be honest. Even during his playing days, he was more of a quarterback coach due to his concussions. Yeah, and everybody loved playing beside him. They all said, like, man, they knew he was the starter, and he was out, and they're like, he was just so helpful. He was in there in the playbook with them, teaching them like a coach on the sidelines. So I think he was always destined to be a coach.
Yeah, and that's the reason
later.
Exactly. And that's the reason I want him, because he can be a quarterback's coach, an offensive coordinator. We can get a defensive coordinator. There's no doubt.
Oh, yeah. He'll bring one. He'll find one. He knows how short his window will be in Saskatchewan if they don't win. So he'll bring the staff. I'll tell you, there will be a big shakeup.
To be quite honest, GM signed for 3 years. So you're getting a 3-year deal probably. And after that, who knows, right? Because if a new GM comes in, you just never know his security. Perhaps he will be the new GM himself too. You just never know. But
never know. And if he's winning, he'll stay.
Yeah, so, I agree. And come on down, Dalton Schoen and Brady Oliveira. Well,
bring them with you, man. Absolutely. Bring Neufeld. Bring them all.
Yeah, we'll take them all. Like, I don't want Jefferson. I hate Jefferson.
I know you hate him. I would have taken him 2 years ago, but now he can stay there. He's going to be too expensive for his age. He can stay now. Now I'm okay with not having him.
I want that. If I have choice in one defensive player, I want that guy out of BC. Is it Bettis? Or he's a Canadian, led the league in sacks this year. And cool story about him. He is a teacher in Montreal in the offseason. So he's a French Canadian, and that tells you how much CFL players make, man.
Only in the CFL do you have a full-time job on the outside. Yeah.
And if you haven't tuned in to our Sean Bain interview, wasn't Sean the guy who did construction in the offseason?
Yep.
Yeah.
Painting, carpentry, all that shit, cupboards, flooring.
Wide receiver doing carpentry with his hands.
And not any wide receiver, top 3 in the league, I think he finished or something. Yeah, like he was a big deal. And he still has to work afterwards.
And that's another thing I'm waiting on is like, what is O'Day doing? We need to announce the signing of Bain. Like, come on.
I don't know if he's waiting for the head coach, but then get the head coach thing wrapped up. Let's go, because we got to sign him. I mean, we need him.
Yeah.
He's our star.
Give him the money. Give him the money.
Pay the man.
Pay the man. I talked to him yesterday. He's doing great. He's
is he back home?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So had a little chat with him. Just a super, super nice guy.
One of the best.
We will be having him back on the show when he signs his contract. And we'll text him that we're having you back on, buddy. So
yes, sir.
That'll be great. But can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Let's
finally maybe some positive moves. Just get Buck Pierce signed, for the love of God.
You betcha. But anyways, that's probably it for today. Once again, join us tonight, Jared Parsonage, CFR finalist, won the CFR NFL or NFR qualifier, and he's heading to Vegas next week. So he's joining the show tonight.
And the Calgary Stampede champ. Let's go.
You betcha. So tune in. Please like and subscribe on Facebook, and we'll catch you later.
Right on, Tyson. I'll see you tonight.
You betcha.